Hey, yo, what up, sluts? This is Taylor, and if you want to get involved in this kind of thing, check the link below and blah, blah, blah. You know what to do. You're not internet retarded, hopefully. And if you're some sort of random 75-year-old man or woman who has just stumbled their way onto the internets and you can't figure it out and you're here magically, feel free to stay a while. But, preferably you should leave because you're kind of that old person who's cramping our style right here. You may not think we can tell through the screen, but we're all looking through the webcam right now, and don't think we're kidding. This is actually recorded live, so get the hell out of this area. But that would make my day. That would make my whole life if some old person somehow did watch the first part of this video and be like, "Oh shit, they're seeing me right now. They're seeing me in my robe," or like whatever the hell old people do. I assume walk around in robes. That'd be a great hobby. That's what I'm gonna do when I'm old. I'm just, I guess, projecting there. But anyway, first one is from VJ, or I guess I read the other one, Joji. Did you ever participate in policy, parley, or Lincoln Douglas debates in school? If so, what was your favorite? Not too much, actually. In high school, we did a Roe v. Wade debate, and I don't even remember which side I was on. I was on the pro-abortion side, and we won that debate, which was really, really surprising because I went to a very conservative school, and they would have done anything in their power to just say, like, even during the debate, you know how the moderators are supposed to kind of stay distanced and not really get involved and start taking sides. Like, our teacher was getting actively involved, saying, like, abortion is murder, and it's like, all right, well, this isn't really the place for that, teacher. We're supposed to be learning how to debate. What the hell? Like, let us do our thing. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. I've always been a contentious little bastard, and it looks like your Twitter picture from this person is them aiming a gun, like a real gun. I can't tell because it's so little, like at me right now in the face. So that's pretty scary. And speaking of these Twitter pictures you guys have, those little icons or thumbnails, I saw one the other day, actually more than one, of someone who had the picture of the zombie face guy just as their Twitter thumbnail. You're like, no big deal. I'm gonna have everybody see that. Like Jesus Christ, you guys are rather creative in your choices of thumbnails. All right. Fighty R. What do you think about COD 4? I think that it's great, and I think that it gets spoken up so much more and talked up like as this great, awesome game, so much more than it was. It was a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's the same reason that if they release Tetris right now, people will be like, "What the hell? This sucks." But if you talk to someone like 15 years ago, like, "Oh shit, this is the best Tetris on my Game Boy Pocket. This is the shit," and they just will look back on that and remember those fond memories and just see how awesome it is. Like just like with fantasy games like Pokemon, if they released something like that now, even if it was all upgraded graphics, people would say this is the most simplistic, stupid game. They wouldn't enjoy it, or at least they wouldn't enjoy it on the same scale to which they're enjoying other similar games that came out later, and so you're not comparing it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, good game, but it gets spoken up way too much because people are way too nostalgic about video games. But not to say that's a bad thing, to each their own. If you could create any psychological experiment without any regard for ethical dilemmas, what would you do to your subjects? That's a good one. I think that I would. I would want to sequester off a bunch of little kids from the day they were born into like an all white room and not allow them any contact, anything at all, no social upbringing, no cultural upbringing, absolutely nothing, no, not even basic math skills or anything, and just leave them with just basic writing implements around and just give them food every day that was delivered by like a machine out of the wall, so they never got any contact, artificial light in there, and I guess you could even project images and shit, depending on how messed up you were, onto the sides of the room. And then at the age of like 20, you let them out and you like analyze all the shit that they drew and all the shit they just kind of messed with in there, and then just analyze their mind and see what they came up with. Because I would imagine they'd be very animalistic based on all those studies, or not studies rather, that'd be cruel, but all those instances rather, where there's like a child who was raised by wolves or something, and they come back and they're just completely incapable of grasping even the most overt social cues just because they weren't raised that way. They don't get it. The wiring in their head is not there, or rather was never formed. So that's what I would do. That's pretty awful, but I'd do it, sue me. All right. Just gotta scroll down. Should have organized these first, but I don't like to because then I feel like I'm thinking of answers beforehand, and I don't like doing that. So, yeah. Surprised Penguin, what is the most epic point in history of your entire life? The most epic point in history? I know that you're thinking probably epic as in like something awesome that happened, but screw that. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say the most epic moment was when I was on the Top Thrill Dragster. It's one of the fastest roller coasters in the world, and it just gets you like a 0 to 140 miles an hour in like 3 seconds. And I can still remember, like, I thought all the skin on my face was just going to peel back and I'd just be a skull by the end. Like, all the air that's rushing in your mouth and your mouth is open, you can't even keep your eyes open. Like, I felt like my contacts were just going to blow out. Like, it was so much fun. It was so intense. And so that's probably not what you meant at all, but that was, I guess, when I felt the most epic, you know, or at least felt the most epic, and something that I can talk about in a YouTube video in front of children, who, you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm alluding to right now, innuendo out the fucking waz. So, alright, next. Tylord97, do you hate those Retendus posts on Facebook that say, like if you're against child abuse and that shit as much as I do? I've mentioned it before, I don't have Facebook, I deleted mine a long time ago, and not 100% for any ideological reason, it's just, I didn't want to spend time on Facebook. You know, I didn't see it as a fun thing to do. It kind of dilutes social interaction, and I didn't care for it. So, you know, that's okay, to each their own. But I really do hate what you're talking about, and I've seen some of those screen caps and whatnot, and when my friends have shown me things on Facebook over their shoulder, and it's like, hey, if you're against, you know, baby rape, then share this status, and it's like, oh, well, I better share this status because I'm a dumbass middle-aged woman who doesn't understand the implications of not sharing this status, because in their head, they're like, oh, an internet share, I should get this message out there. But to anyone who's even vaguely savvy with the internet, they're like, oh, this person is just looking to augment their own share rate and be a manipulative little bastard who's exploiting the fears and the frustrations of others and the pain, quite frankly, of other people to try and get 50 shares on Facebook or whatever the hell. And it's pretty pathetic, you know. If there were a special island, you know, back to the psychological experiment one, except let's take away with the no negative repercussions. I want to take every person who has ever posted one of those, and I want to put them in a big metal cage, and then I want to drop that big metal cage in the middle of a SeaWorld shark exhibit, and then have the metal cage like it was attached with these joint bolts or something, and then they fall out, and then a lid is put on top of the big tube thing, or the big, you know, shark cage so they can't get out, and then you just watch them get eaten. You know, it'll make a great Discovery Channel special. I don't even know what the hell that had to do with any kind of experiment or psychology at all, but that's what I would do. That's what I wish I could do to them. So yes, I hate them just as much as you. Doster Cohen, fat bottom girls. All right, good suggestion, sir. Very, very cogent, very concise. Apparently unlike the kind of butts that you like, which are large and voluptuous. You know, I really don't mind that much. I'm not that picky. To each their own, I say, but I prefer, you know, I guess medium-sized. You know, I feel like I'm like ordering a soda at Sonic right now, but does that make sense? Is that a thing, to just like average size? You know, I guess that's good. I mean, as long as it's within reason, I'm good with that. Not a big deal. Not that big of an ass man myself anyway, but, you know, once again, go hog wild if that's your thing, Mr. Doster Cohen, loving the booty. Ice Scorp, please talk about Mormons and their ignorant ways. I would, and I do know some about the Mormon religion, but for the most part, they don't try and invade and intrude on our rights like some bigger religious groups do, so I'm pretty okay with Mormons for the most part. They don't really do anything, as long as they're not showing up at my house like Jehovah's Witnesses saying, hey, I'd like to talk to you about Jesus. Have you heard of Jesus? And I can be like, why no? Who is this Jesus character? I've never heard of him. Like, and then, you know, or I can be even more like frustrating and then let them in and then like pretend that I'm some sort of hardcore Muslim and then try and convert them to Islam while they're trying to get me with Jehovah's Witness stuff, and then just be arguing back and forth with just ridiculous claims with no knowledge. It'd be really good. I should film that. That'd be a good video. But for the most part, unless they're religious people are trying to take my rights out from under me or impose their beliefs on someone else, and I see them taking someone else's rights away, I'm okay with it, you know? As long as it's not affecting me or society or any part of my life whatsoever, I'm cool, you know? So that's how I feel. Jesus Christ. Lots of ones in a row that are just asking for shout-outs. God damn it. God damn it, you guys. I explicitly asked no shout-out requests, and as soon as I type it, I was like, oh, god damn it. That's like inviting a wave. Just like I guarantee now people are going to be asking in the next video, like, what's your mom's maiden name? Or just like all these family things that I said I wouldn't give away, or like personal details about my friends, like, what's your brother's most embarrassing moment? Which I wouldn't know that because I don't live in his head. I wouldn't freaking know. But, alright. Last one. Hobo Jim Babo. Way too many B's in there. What you should do when an incredibly non-socially acceptable thing happens and can't be played off as on purpose. Man, that was really difficult to read for some reason. So I'm guessing like maybe farting in an elevator, you know, that's a good example. That is very looked down upon. Flatulating in a lift Is that what it's called? Across the pond, a lift? I think it is. That's actually a lot shorter than elevator. Save yourself 3 syllables. Have a good day. I don't know. I guess in that situation, if you can't play it off, and no matter what, they're going to look at you with derision and with frustration and say, wow, this asshole breaking our unwritten social paradigm, what you want to do is just act like you reveled in it. Just act like a revel and be like, oh, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, I just farted in this elevator. Get at me. What are you going to do? Oh, wait, you ain't going to do shit because you abide by society's unwritten code, man, so you're not going to start fighting me in this elevator. You're not going to do it, man. And just come off like a complete weirdo, and then suddenly by the end of that trip, they're going to be like, completely forget that you farted. They'll be like, Jesus Christ, that guy was a weirdo in so many ways. Did he fart or something? I don't even remember. He was such a lunatic when he went off there and started stripping for us or something like that. You just top it, and eventually they're going to leave you, and they won't even want to laugh because they'll think you're crazy, So, just to be sure, though, that is very terrible advice. Don't take it. Not helpful at all. And, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a rating. If you didn't, leave a rating in the opposite direction. They're all the same. Not a big deal. So, yeah. I'll talk to you later, and I love you.